Hello friends, today we are going to see about another topic that related to generative AI, that is that is RAG. What is meant by RAG? In generative AI, whenever we want to increase the potential of an LLM model for our business needs, but but the pre-trained LLM does not might not perform potentially from the out of the box for our business needs because it is trained on internet data that is not trained on our business data. So we need to fine tune the model on a new data set of our business data without starting from scratch, or we use um, we use the another technique called RAG. That means we use retrieval augment system to enhance the knowledge of LLM, to enhance the knowledge of LLM. Knowledge of an LLM. Okay, this tag technique was very useful whenever our LLM may lag in enterprise specific knowledge. Because let's take an example. Uh, let's take an example. The LLM model which I have used OpenAI, in OpenAI, in OpenAI, that was GPT-4. GPT-4 was used in OpenAI, OpenAI chatbot. But this LLM, this LLM is trained on internet data. So whenever we asking question like uh, what is capital of um, what is capital of India, we asking this question to an LLM model. So it will easily answer that capital of India is New Delhi. It can easily respond to these questions because because this LLM model, this ChatGPT LLM model is trained on internet data, so that it can easily answer it. It can easily answer it. But whenever we asking question that related to our business business, it cannot answer. It cannot answer. For example, we for example we all running a supermarket on daily basis. There will be a revenue was generated, the billing was generated. We all store that the information in a database. So we ask the LLM to answer the question, what was the overall revenue of this month. Revenue of this month of our company. We asking this question, but LLM does not answer the question because because these data are personalized data of our company. It was stored in our personalized database. So The LLM does not train it on this data. So we ask, whenever we asking these kind of business questions, the LLM will answer it, but the answer was irrelevant. The answer was irrelevant. It will answer, it will, whenever asking any question, it will answer, but the answer was irrelevant. Irrelevant. The answer was irrelevant. The answer was irrelevant. This kind of problem is called as isolation. Isolations. Whenever you're asking some question to LLM, but LLM answered that question, but the answer was irrelevant to the question. This kind of problem is called isolation. To overcome this problem, we use rack technique. Let's see how this rack technique will be useful. This is the overall architecture of an implementing a RAG over an LLM. First, first the LLM was this LLM was a pre-trained model. This was a pre-trained model. It does not it does not know about our business. It does not have a knowledge of our business. But 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 we asking we initially we initially what we need to do is we need to we need to mm, we need to store our business information in a form of in a form of vector of a multi-dimension as a multi-dimension vector, and store it in a vector storage. This vector storage is a database. It will store the data in a embedded form. We need to first convert our business data. We need to convert our business data into some embeddings by using some embedding technique. By using embedding technique, we need to, after applying embedding technique, we need to convert them business data into some dimensions of vector, and then we store it in a vector database. In a database, and then whenever we asking them query means that the prompt the prompt will the prompt will send to the LLM. Before sending to LLM, the prompt is sent to the prompt is initially converted into vector by using embedded technique, and then the embedded query is sent to vector storage, and it will compare the vector query and the similarity queries inside the vector databases, and depending upon the query query the similarity search will be done, and similarity vectors from the vectors in a vector storage will be retrieved. The relevant context from the vector storage is retrieved, and both the query and the relevant content that was retrieved from the vector storage by using the uh, cu- by using the uh, by using the query that was embedded. The relevant content is added is combined with the prompt asked that was asked by um, that was asked by the user is combined together, and then it both combine and provide to the LLM model. Till LLM model analyze understand the embedded vector that was relevant content, and it will it will uh, it will it will understand the query that was asked by user. Depending upon that, it will retrieve the exact data from the relevant content and generate a response for us. This was the overall technique. We In this overall technique, we just enhance the knowledge of an LLM like temporarily. Whenever we find tune it, we need a computation power. We need to create a data set, and we need to label it, and then we need to fine tune the pre-trained LLM by using a data set. It was time taking, and it needs some computational power and to avoid these kind of scenarios, we use RAG. By using RAG, we provide an temporary knowledge to an LLM. By by using that knowledge, the LLM will answer the questions which was asked by the user. This RAG helps to retrieve data from outside of foundation model. That means outside of foundation model means we because these LLM models are trained internet data set. So it takes the data from the outside of the box. That means outside data means the vectorized data that was stored in vector database, and perform specific task by adding the relevant content that was retrieved from the vector database, and the query that was asked by the user. It composed of three components. In generally, this whenever we combining RAG and LLM together, uh, it composed of three components. One was it retrieval, 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 augmented, augmentation, augmentation, and then generation. These are the three steps which the RAG and LLM work together to answer the business-based questions. After after receiving query from the user, the relevant content is retrieved from the external knowledge. The external knowledge means from from vector database. The relevant content is retrieved from the vector database, or it can be called as external knowledge, or from the other data sources. Relevant content is retrieved from the external knowledge, and the retrieval context information is then appended with original query. This was the original query, and this was the retrieval content. These both are together to form a augmented query. This is both combined, and this both combination is called as augmented augmented query query. This augmented query is then sent to the foundation model. Sent to the foundation model. This was the LLM. This LLM is a foundation model. It does not train it on business data. It's only trained on internet data. This augmented query is sent to the LLM, and the LLM will generate a response based on the augmented query. This was the three things, and and there are three types of retrieval. Are there are there are three types of retrieval. Are there three types of retrieval? Are there One is rule based. That means it will fetch the unstructured data like document. Fetches unstructured unstructured data like document. And that means we just provide the document, business document to the we can business document to LLM. It will understand the unstructured data inside the document, and it will answer the question. Another one is transactional based. That means the data is stored in a database. A retrieval is happen retrieval from database. A data is retrieved from the database. That was um, that was called as transaction based. The LLM will retrieve the data from the database. That means transaction based retrieval. Whenever the data is retrieved from the document, it can be document, can be a PDF, or it can be a CSV file, or it can be any other Word document. So whenever it gathers the data, retrieve the data from the any of the document, it was called rule based. Whenever it get the data, it will retrieve the data from the database. That was called as transactional based. And there is another type, semantic search. Semantic search. That means it will get relevant, relevant, relevant document data based on text embedding. Text embedding. That means that means the doc the document here a document in rule base. The document is directly given to an LLM model. From that, the LLM will retrieve the data. In this, the data was retrieved from a direct database. But here, but in semantic database, the document was converted into numerical words by using some memory technique, and that was stored in a vector database. From there, from the vector database, the LLM model will be retrieve data and answer for our questions. This was semantic based. The chat GPT and Copilot and other Q&A chatbots are working on semantic search based, working on a semantic based search retrieval. Okay, this is the basic architecture of unrag. How does the today we see that how does the RAG and LLM are combined together to answer the business questions that was outside of the box. We can see further things in upcoming days. Thank you.